The Grinches are trying to steal Christmas once again. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky urging everyone to mask up for the holidays in light of what she calls a tripledemic of COVID, RSV, and the flu. But Americans aren't drinking her sour milk. According to a new poll, 70% of Americans believe the COVID-19 pandemic won't disrupt daily life. 39% say it's already over. Thank you, 39%. And a separate poll shows that this year, 57% of companies will have in-person, mask-free holiday parties. I even hate saying that word mask-free. It gives me shivers. So, is it time for the COVID cultists to stay home and let the rest of us party in peace? The panel is back. Carol Markowitz, Juan Williams, and Spike Cohen. Carol, I'll never tire of talking about what I think is the worst thing that ever happened in the United States. The COVID policy that ruined our country. It ruined our country, everything about it. So let's just I guess we'll stick to the mask mandates. Do you think anyone is going to do what these idiots say at this point?
Well, yeah, I do. I do think people are going to do what these idiots say. It's been long past the time to get back to normal. I haven't owned a mask in nearly a year, ever since our family moved to the sane, free state of Florida. You know, Spike mentioned that people moved to Libertarians because of COVID. That was one option. Option two was move to Florida. But so many places are still living under insane COVID-19 rules, which have always especially targeted children. I can't get over that either. I really can't. I have friends in New York City who still have not been inside their kids' classroom, or their schools only do outdoor events in 40 degrees. You know, it's like, stop the madness. Stop listening to these agoraphobic leftists who love the lockdowns because they got to work in their pajamas and have people deliver everything they need to their door. Do as Democratic politicians have done all along and live your regular, normal life free of restrictions. That is a great point, Carol, and I'll take it to Juan. Juan, the COVID cultists really are the Zoom set. It's the managerial class. It's the college educated. The more degrees you have, the more you agreed with this COVID shutdowns. And you know who it hurt? It hurt the little guy. It hurt the blue collar worker. You know why? Because you can't fix a toilet on Zoom. Yeah. So what happened to Democrats? Why do they hate freedom and working people so much?
Wow, I must say I have a different setup for this segment, Tom, because my impression is that a lot of the bosses want people back in the office. So it seems to me like, you know, the power players are saying, get back to work, get back behind your desk. We want the interaction in the office and the like. I think there are a lot of people, and you spoke about the blue-collar workers. I think they've been going at it all along. So, you know, hats off to them. But I think it's a lot of people sort of in middle management jobs who, as you say, want to be in their pajamas. But, you know, they found that their life is better as individuals. They prefer the idea you go into the office when you need to, but you can stay home and be very proficient, very productive at home and have a better life. So I think that's almost a libertarian stance. And Spike's here, you know, I think you should say to people, how can you be productive? Can you get the job done? One final thought, it hurts downtowns when you don't have all the workers in place. And I think you're going to see more political pressure coming from mayors and governors to say, we want people back at work because it brings life back to our cities.
Yeah, I agree. Spike, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. The small businessman, the guy who had the pizza shop or the restaurant, and the blue-collar workers did get hurt because they were willing to work, but they couldn't work because the economy was so damaged. I mean, obviously, the world has to wake up to this, but are we ever going to have these people admit what they did was wrong?
I mean, I don't think they're going to admit. Well, we have some that have called for an amnesty, which is, I guess, their way of admitting they were wrong. I'm just happy to see that people are joining where libertarians were from day one, which is enjoying the holidays without worrying about government's warning. We were doing that back in 2020 and 2021 before it was cool. And it's easy to see why. Government told us that in order to stop COVID, we had to lock down. We had to shut down schools. We had to wear masks even outside. We couldn't even, you know, go to the park or anything like that. They would arrest people who tried to keep their businesses open or who tried to, take their kids to the park or even go to church. They would find them and arrest them. They would tell people that they had to get the shot or they would lose their jobs. Joe Biden warned about a winter of death and dismemberment or whatever you call it, a death and severe illness, and none of it worked. None of it slowed or stopped COVID, because none of it was going to slow or stop COVID. It spread far too easily, and these measures were foolhardy to begin with. And we now have the benefit of 2 years of knowing that. And with each new variant, it spreads that much more easily, which means it's that much more foolish to think that any of these measures are going to stop it. And Americans have said, you know what? None of this is going to work. I'm going to live my life. If I want to get a shot, I will. If I want to wear a mask, I will. And if I don't want to do those things, I don't. I'm going to return to my life. And to that, I say, welcome to the party. We were here from day one.
Love it. Welcome to the party.